back with another book completed. Jesus Unleashed, book by John Macarthur, subtitled A New Vision of the Bold Confrontations of Christ and Why They Matter. Just got done reading this one. So let me remind you, I started doing these little kind of semi-reviews that had a little humorous tone to them, but were meant to be a little encouraging nuggets of some material about the book or some takeaways I had. It started with me just kind of logging and tracking the books I'm reading. But I thought I'd record it somehow and throw it out there, and hopefully someone finds some encouragement or wanting to read one of these books and all the other books I get into. This one pretty much highlights like it says, the confrontations Jesus had with the religious leaders, Pharisees and Sadducees, and even Nicodemus. That was a little bit upfront and very abrupt, and it wasn't soft or anything. So he goes into John 3, John 6, and Matthew 23, and talks a lot about the bold side of Jesus. There's a couple of lines in here that stuck out. But always talking about Jesus, the truth mattered more to Jesus than how people felt about it. He was looking for ways to make people, he was not looking for ways for people to like him. He was calling people who were willing to bow to him unconditionally as their Lord. So the whole tone of this book was very looking at the bold side and challenging the idea of Jesus being only meek and mild, and challenging the mild sense in its entirety. Jesus is described as gentle and lowly in Matthew, I think 11:29. Gentle and lowly are aspects of him, describing some of his heart, but mild would be a different descriptor that Macarthur challenges. I wanted to highlight another paragraph here that was impactful, because he starts going and talking about the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, and it was really partially addressed to the Pharisees and the Pharisaical system. It wasn't just for the disciples to hear. He says in a paragraph here, the Beatitudes were a rebuke to the Pharisees' whole system. Any Pharisees who might have been in the crowd listening to the sermon would certainly have felt personally attacked and publicly humiliated. And if there were any doubt of his intentions, proof that Jesus meant to chide them is seen throughout the rest of his sermon. Chide just means disapprove or scold or reprove. He meant to chide them is seen throughout the rest of the sermon. In fact, the central message of the Sermon on the Mount is summed up in Matthew 5:20. Quote, I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. The sermon is a sustained critique of their whole religious system. The Beatitudes were merely an introduction, contrasting the spirit of authentic faith with the hypocrisy of Pharisaical self-righteousness. So that was one good paragraph. There's a lot of other good quotes and sections. A very small book, about 150 pages or so, but I encourage anyone who wants to read it. And that's it for today. Jesus is God.